What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and I am back with another Creative School video, this time the North Alabama Lions. This was a request from somebody recently, and hopefully they'll get something out of this, and you will as well. So we'll get right into it. We'll start off with the colors. Primary color I picked was the purple, so I went all the way down to the very bottom, went to the far right purple, edited that one, and the RGB code for theirs is 70, 22, and 107. They call it the UNA purple, so this is their specialized purple. And it's the same with their secondary color, which is the UNA gold. I went to the far right yellow, edited that one. And the RGB for it is 219, 159, and 17. Now, this is more yellow than gold, but I actually like the way it looks. And according to the Team Color Code site, that's what it is, so that's what I stuck with. So now let's talk about the logo itself. Now, I should be able to show you a couple different logos. They got a couple different ways to go about it. They got UNA with a gold lion underneath it. Sometimes it's just the lion. I could not find anything close to that. Kind of, sort of. Let's talk about that. First of all, we can't recreate, UNA. It's no different than the last Creative School we done, which was, South Alabama. It's hard to replicate the actual letters, so you got to find a logo of the mascot or something that gets pretty close to it. And oddly enough, I found the Arkansas Pine Bluff logo, which I think came out pretty well. Now, you look at the actual UNA logo, it's just the side view of a lion, purple and gold. And I tried and I couldn't find it anywhere. So you go to school logo, you go to generic, you have a chance to get kind of close if you select this. The problem is you have to switch up your colors, primary and secondary, which isn't a big deal, but it's just nothing but the gold line. Plus, he's facing right at it. It's just kind of weird looking. I wish it was a side view of the line. Otherwise, I probably would have went with that. Plus, this is a female line, not a male line. So that was another reason why I decided not to go with that. Now, there are a couple other felines, like this would have been really cool looking, but that's a jaguar, and we talked about that in that previous video with South Alabama. But again, I wanted a male lion with the full mane and everything, and I just could not find it anywhere in the generic. And that's when I went to NCAA teams, and I was just looking to see if I could find a line that was at least kind of close. And sure enough, I like this one. It's fierce. It's a side view, and it's got the gold color. It matches what our yellow is, which I think is pretty cool. So I think we lucked out on that one. But feel free to pick whatever you want to there. Nickname the Lions, school name North Alabama, abbreviated name is UNA all across the interwebs. That's all I saw was UNA this, UNA that, so that's what I went with. They are located in Florence, Alabama. You go down to the state of Alabama, and they are right up here in the top left corner. Something about like right here. When it comes to playbook and team type, you pick whatever you want to there. That's up to you and how you want to handle your dynasty. Rival school, I still stuck with one of their current rivals, which was Jacksonville State. I did get a comment on the South Alabama one. I picked Troy for South Alabama's rival. Technically, that's still correct because they are now an FBS school. Well, since North Alabama is a FCS school, I stuck with one of their current FCS rivals, which happens to be Jacksonville State. There was another one, Alabama A&M, I think, is another rival of theirs. Just pick whatever you want to with that one. Fight song, again, I don't fool with that too often. Mascot, just another unfortunate situation where we just can't find one that even comes close to their actual mascot. Let's go to the stadium. It is Braley Stadium. It's a dual-sided, and this is going to be the most plain Jane stadium you're going to probably see me create in this series. It's a north and south. From what I could tell, it's kind of like a northwest, southeast look, but I stuck with the north-south. They got one scoreboard, and it's, from what I can tell, it's in the north end zone. They do not have a video screen. Their press box, they have one that's on the west side. And then their field, it is as plain Jane as it gets. There is nothing, absolutely nothing on the field. Now, feel free to add the logo if you feel like it. You can do that if you want. But I stuck to what it currently is, and all the images that I could find on the internet, they just don't have anything on the field. So that's what I stuck with. Now, they did have a track, but they got rid of it kind of, sort of. And they kind of put some of the seating on top of it a little bit. So I just took the track off. If you put the track on, it'll look just completely different than what you see in real life. So I just took it off. But I can see why you'd want to put it on. Backdrop, from what I can tell, that it's right in the heart of campus. So that's what I put for the backdrop, which is campus. Now let's talk about the uniforms. You could get pretty crazy with the combinations. That's a common theme with a lot of the teams that I've been creating, is a lot of these smaller schools just have a wild combination of things. So you can go with a purple helmet, purple jersey, then white pants, or on the away side of things, you can go with a white helmet, a white jersey, then maybe purple pants. I mean, you can do whatever you want to with this, but the most common home uniform I saw was the all purple, as you see right here. So let's go up to the very top. And their helmet style, I went with triple stripe and a logo. Now, their strap is a unique situation. It's really no different than the South Alabama one, where it's it's big at the front of the helmet and it shortens in the back. Well, in this game, we have the one that's really big in the back that's short up front. But their particular stripe it looks like they got two stripes. And that's what I went with. But I went with this triple stripe that's all the way around. As you see here, just white stripes on the outside with purple inside. I think they got a little bit of gold for a border, but we can't replicate that in here. So I just stuck with the white stripes, the double, and I think it came out just fine. It's as close as I could get to the real thing. Helmet color, it's their purple. Helmet stripe is, from one is white, then the two is purple. Pride sticker, from what I could tell, they didn't have any. Jersey type, I went with classic. It looks like they're all purple. It's very plain Jane. There's not a whole lot to it. Jersey color, again, purple. Sleeve numbers, I put them on the side. Style, this one was kind of tough. If you look at their numbers, it's modern, but it still almost has the normal style number one looks. That's kind of what I went with, and I was perfectly fine with that. Number name white, outline color black. Now, you could go gold here, but it's going to come out looking bad just because of the 06 border glitch thing. But I think with black, it comes out just fine. Thankfully, this purple is dark enough where you can't tell the difference. Chest logo, they had a couple chest logos, but it wasn't their main logo. I think you could do NCAA or something. No, I'm wrong. I was thinking of something else. But anyway, I did not see their main logo on their jersey whatsoever, so I took this off. Player names, from what I can tell, they don't have player names on their jersey, so I took that off. Pant style, again, I just went with plain. From what I could tell, they just didn't have anything fancy. Now, you may notice a couple. I didn't want to replicate it. I kind of take that back. What I did notice was on some of their pants, they got a little bitty white stripe or maybe a little bitty gold stripe. It's so hard to replicate that in this game. So I just decided to keep it plain, and I'm okay with that. But feel free to, if you want to add those stripes, you can. But pant color, purple, belt, same. I always like to keep that matching unless I see something different. Short or socks are short. Then my shoe color and sock color, from what I can tell, they go all white with those. So that is the default home uniform. I think it looks pretty slick. And then, again, you can work off of this and start mixing and matching some things. So let's go to the away uniform. And the only difference is the jersey. But there's some different things we're going to do with the jersey. So let's go up to the very top. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is, again, the helmet stays the same as what we just saw. It is the face mask color. I just completely forgot about that. But it's black. According to some of the images I saw, they went with a black face mask. So that's what we went with. But again, the helmet stays the same as it is with the home uniform. Then you get to the jersey. Of course, it's white, but we're going to go with a triple sleeve here. If you notice on the image I should have to the right, they got a purple and gold stripe on the side, so that's what I went with. The closest thing I could get to was the triple sleeve. There is no double sleeve to where you could do a color on one on the bottom and one on the top. Otherwise, that's what I would have went with. But I like the way that looks, and that's kind of like what they like to do with their away uniforms. Jersey color white, sleeve stripe for one is purple, then you got the gold. And then the shoulder sleeve, I just went plain. From what I could tell, they did not have a number on the shoulder or on the side. So we went plain there. I stuck with the same number style, purple for the number and name, and outline color as black. The pants should be exactly the same all the way through. It's just purple across the board, and then you get the sock and shoe color at white for both. So I like that combo. It's got enough of the main color in there with just enough of the secondary color to top it off. So now let's get fun. Let's have some fun with the alternate uniforms. Let's start off with the alternate one. This is your home uniform. Again, play around with some of this, see what you like. I did notice this was their other more common home uniform. It's no different than what we saw on the default home uniform in terms of your helmet, in terms of your jersey. Everything stays the same as the default home. For the pants, this is where we switch it up. We go gold and gold for the belt and the pants. I think it's an awesome looking offset of the purple. Gold and purple, they just go really well together. And it's no more true than what you see right here. It looks really slick. But I stuck with the same sock and shoe color of white. Pretty slick look. I would use that almost as much as the all purple. So you're having some incentive to go back and forth between the two pretty frequently. Now, I did notice one home uniform where it was all purple, but they had the white helmet. Speaking of, let's talk about the alternate away uniform. Again, you could do purple pants with that white helmet. You can just kind of do whatever you want to here. I wanted to go with the Stormtrooper look, the all white. Always like to have that in my uniform combination somewhere. And let's talk about the helmet. This is the only time it really switches up. I'm trying to think, this may be my first school that I've created for the series where we got two different helmets. I could be dead wrong. I may be forgetting one. But either way, I noticed they did have a Stormtrooper look at one point or another. And nothing changes except it is a white helmet with purple stripes. Everything else stays the same. Face mask stays the same. The type of helmet. All that good stuff. And the jersey is no different than the default away uniform. You still got the triple sleeve on the side, the purple number, the black border. All that good stuff is on there. Still no names on the back. And then you got your pants. I went all white. There is no hip logo, by the way. I haven't mentioned that yet, but I could not find a hip logo on anywhere in those images. But you go down to the pants. Again, it's just Stormtrooper white all across the board. Socks, shoes, all the way up to the helmet. That looks really cool. I think it's a nice little alternative to some of the other ones. So you go back and look at these. The all purple looks really cool. I like it. The away, you just go to the white jersey. Then you go to the alternate. I wanted to add some gold, a little bit more to that, to the uniform. And then we have the Stormtrooper look. I think, in my personal opinion, unless I'm forgetting something, this is the best combination of uniforms for one school. It's just a lot of variances. I like the way every bit of that came out. Even switching up the helmet a little bit. Pretty cool. And here we have our default home uniform. I think this came out really well. All purple, it just really pops. The border around the numbers look really good. The black and the white, every bit of that looks great. I tell you what, I'm really excited about the logo. I just think it comes out really well. You wouldn't know the difference unless you were just a die-hard Arkansas Pine Bluff fan. But I think the logo just really complements everything with that. So I think that's a really good-looking default home uniform. Now you go over to the default away uniform. You're just switching up the jersey. But I like the triple sleeve, get you something a little bit different. Otherwise, I think that came out really well across the board. And here we have our alternate home uniform. This time we've switched up the pants to the gold. I think that combination looks incredible. And again, look how close that gold is to the logo. It just came out really well. I was very fortunate to have spotted that. Otherwise, I didn't know what I was going to do with the logo. That was my one worry about creating this particular school, was how am I going to match that logo? And to be honest, I think it came out great. But in terms of this combination of uniform, I think it came out really spectacular. I actually almost prefer this over the default home uniform. Just again, the purple and gold just go so well together. Then you go to the Stormtrooper look. Pretty slick. I always like to have this again in my combination of uniforms at somewhere. And I think this came out real well. It looks like the logo pops more than anything off of this look. But the triple sleeve, the purple and the gold on the side, I think every bit of that looks spot on. Now, I would show you the field, but again, this is the most plain Jane field that we've created so far because that's just what they do. For whatever reason, either they can't afford to put their logo on the at 50-yard line. They can't paint the end zones. I don't know what their deal is, but it adds character, I guess, to the fact that it's the real thing. Somebody can correct me on that if they added something different, but every image that I saw of their stadium, they didn't put anything on there. Now, we can look around. You got the west side press box. You got the one scoreboard in the north end zone. Then you just got stands on the other side. Then in the south end zone, it's just nothing. But the campus drop back, and that is it. So hopefully you enjoyed all that. I'm not going to lie. This may be my favorite combination of uniform colors, every bit of that. I think that came out so well. Just imagine if they had some really cool-looking field stuff. This would have been just an all-time build in terms of creative school. So, pretty good stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed all that. And I'll talk to you later.